Is LA Knight, turning heel? I don't know. Let's talk about it in the One Take, One Shot SmackDown review, where I do it immediately following the last episode of whatever I just watched. That way you get my raw, visceral reaction. Can't look at other YouTubers and steal their opinions. I mean, repurpose their opinions. So, let's get started. LA Knight, he starts off SmackDown. Jackie Redmond, I believe, gets up to him, puts the microphone, and says, hey, you got a mystery opponent again. And LA Knight starts to kind of crash out. Now, everything LA Knight said, it was all true. He didn't say any lies whatsoever, but Drew McIntyre doesn't ever tell a lie either, and yet Drew is a heel. It's all about what he says and how he says it. And LA Knight was definitely saying how he was being treated unfairly. He was like, I think he said, it sucks that Sheamus is out, but in any other sport, when you can't compete, the other guy gets a bye. He should advance. LA Knight wanted to just automatically advance into the tournament because his opponent should have been Sheamus, and Sheamus got injured. Now, that's logical. That is logical. But in the world of wrestling, a babyface should be like, that's fine, whoever it is, I want to win. I want to win just like everybody else. They want to win with their head held up high. They don't want buys. They just want to fight and advance like, well, the competition. But LA Knight didn't want any competition tonight, so this might be the start of a heel turn, and I would be all for that. All for that whatsoever. And we'll talk more LA Knight in a second, but like, for real, the way he was talking, how mad he was getting, the things that he was saying and how he was saying it, we might have a heel turn on our hands, and I think that would be a great step for the character of LA Knight. He's the babyface thing, well, if we're not going to give him a championship as a babyface, maybe we'll be forced to give him a championship as a heel, because he could be one of those heels that, like, remember The Rock? When The Rock's a heel, that's the best version of The Rock. I like babyface LA Knight, but heel LA Knight might be undeniable with the audience that we have to put the belt on him. And so, like, please, yes, let's continue down this path and totally flip him. And I could see it happening because, well, LA Knight does win. He does win. We'll talk about it in a second, but his opponent is going to be Jey Uso. Jey Uso comes down eating. We start SmackDown at 7:09 after all the yeets and everything. And Jey Uso beat Rusev. I did not like this decision. I did not like that Rusev he just got pinned. It was a decent match, though. I'm not going to lie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Honestly, I enjoyed this whole SmackDown. I was surprised because it was a pre-tape. This was a pre-tape show, and I already knew that The Miz was going to be LA Knight's opponent, so I kind of thought that I was not going to enjoy tonight at all, but honestly, it was very well paced. I didn't agree with everything, but I still enjoyed everything, if that makes sense. So, like, because a lot of times when I'm crashing out, people just think I'm crashing out because it's cool to hate on WWE. No, I usually crash out because the storylines, they don't make sense. I don't like that Rusev lost to Jey Uso. Flat out don't like it. But I understand how we've positioned Jey Uso throughout the entire year. I do understand why he beat Rusev. I wanted Rusev to win, but I'm not going to crash out because the story makes sense right there. So, like, yeah. It would have been nicer, though, if something would have happened and we would have protected Rusev more, because Rusev is, like, he needs to be an up-and-coming threat. Up-and-coming threats they shouldn't lose a lot. And Rusev has already been kind of damaged coming into WWE. It wasn't until his feud with Dominic Mysterio that we started to kind of turn a corner with him, and I don't want all that momentum to be lost. That is a problem Triple H has. But that said, the argument could have been made, well, Jey Uso we need to keep his momentum going to keep him as a main event player. So I know people are gonna hate me for dare saying that I understood why Jey Uso won, but I do understand it. Not who I would have gone with, but I understand it. So Jey Uso, he wins, and then we will cut to eventually. I'm not sure if it's right away, but we have a segment in which the Miz is begging Nick Aldis to, put himself back into the tournament. Now, I feel we should have just had another first round matchup, because we could have just pulled two balls and we could have made that match the first round. But no, I guess we're just going right into some random dude gets a lucky shot, another chance at it. So Nick Aldis pulls out of the tumbler a ball with the names on it. He opens it up, but then R-Truth comes in. I thought this segment was brilliant. This was an awesome way to let the Miz get back into the tournament without the Miz just begging and Nick Aldis saying, okay, fine, whatever, Miz, because he was begging. He was saying, I deserve it. I meant so much to John Cena's career, all these things, right? And Nick Aldis is like, no, we're going to do the tumbler. So he pulls the tumbler, and then R-Truth comes, and R-Truth is like, what do you got against my balls? And Nick Aldis is like, I've got nothing against your balls. And while they're talking about R-Truth's balls, Miz takes the little piece of paper with his name on it, and remember, Nick Aldis already opened the ball. He swaps them out. He takes the paper with someone else's name, who knows whose name it is, and he puts in the Miz's name, Miz's own name. Now, we should have eventually, you know what they should do? Take it this one step further. We should find out whose name that was, and that could be the Miz's next feud, because Miz pockets the name, and then when R-Truth leaves, Nick looks and he's like, oh my God, it's the Miz. So he tricked Nick Aldis and got himself in. That's beautiful storytelling. That is a great story. That lasted about maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Very entertaining. And it made perfect sense. I loved this explanation of how the Miz got back into the tournament. I wouldn't have put the Miz back in the tournament, but I love how we got him back into it. So great stuff there. Then the Miz and LA Knight, they went and had a great match. Now, LA Knight didn't show any heel tendencies here, but it was a good back and forth match. SmackDown lately has been doing these 30-minute bangers, and I like that. I'm not connecting with. But each match tonight, I really did connect with. Even the main event where it was a bunch of jobbers versus the MFTs, who kind of have been treated like jobbers. Even that match was really well paced and really, I enjoyed it. Like, I am just legit shocked at how much I enjoyed this SmackDown. Nothing big happened. Really nothing big happened, and yet I thought it was still pretty good. So we have two big names, LA Knight, The Miz. LA Knight wins. He just wins, and no complaints here. And so now it's gonna be LA Knight versus Jey Uso in the finals. Whoo! I'm scared for two things. For one, I can already see Jey Uso pinning LA Knight, right? Jey Uso pins LA Knight. That's gonna suck. But what if? Oh, first off, that means we're going to get Gunther Jey Uso 5. And then what if we are living in the timeline in which it's Jey Uso, John Cena, they're the final match. Oh my God. Jey Uso being the final match. Then I will be hate tweeting WWE on that occasion, because I don't think Jey needs to be the final guy. LA Knight would be my pick with all the participants that are left, though. Anyways, let's focus on the here and now. What else happened here on tonight's Raw, SmackDown, whatever it is? Priest does cut a promo. Excuse me. Priest cuts a promo, and he's too nice. I need to see passion, fire, hatred. He's just like, my eyes healed, and all you've done is made me mad. But he doesn't seem mad. It just seems like another day at the office for Damian Priest. So, And then Zelina Vega gets right up on him, and Damian Priest did do something funny. If you ever are in like an argument with a short person, you really want to get on their nerves, crouch down to their eye level. That like. That is like the most insulting thing you can do. And Damian Priest did that. So condescending. So I did like that Damian Priest was being condescending towards Zelina Vega, who was in turn, trying to sink her teeth into him. But yeah, there wasn't much to say there other than I guess this feud continuing, even though they already had a last man standing match. But whatever. She eventually leaves, and Rhea comes up to Damian Priest, and they hug, and it's like, hey, I want to talk to you about something. I thought we might have got Rhea Damian Priest versus Lena Aleister Black right here tonight, but no, we didn't, and we don't follow up on that. Maybe it's next week or something, but whatever the case may be, they're just gone. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe she's gonna make a trade and get Damian back onto Raw. Not sure. We then go Chelsea Green. She's in the ring. This I did not like. This is something that I did not like. Chelsea Green, she comes out for her inauguration. She's like, we're going to have some fireworks. 1 or 5, 2, 3, whatever. I did like, though, that she had the Mexican flag, the Canadian flag, and the American flag, the United States flag, and she counted in English, French, and Spanish. You might be like, why French? Well, Canada has Quebec that is French speaking. First language French, the English second. So it was cool that she did that. But then, so I'm all for Jade. I think if you've been watching this channel long enough, you know that I've always been a Jade supporter since, I'm pretty sure, day one. I've liked Jade since day one. But I don't like that Jade came out here and she comes out and attacks Chelsea Green. I understand why she did, though, because Chelsea's saying, I'm the best champion, and Jade's like, no, I'm the best champion. So she came out and attacked her, but it's like, I don't know. I don't think we should have wrote it this way. I just don't think so. This doesn't ruin anything for me. I don't like that this happened. I think that we should have called up somebody else. Why didn't we have Lola Vice come out? Like, Lola Vice, call her up. She could have came out, and Lola Vice would be a good challenger for a mid-card belt. Lola Vice is someone in NXT. Or Julia comes out. I mean, she just beat Julia, but, I kind of want to get away from heel versus heel, so don't do Julia. But Jade is a heel. I hope. I don't want turning her face. We just finally got her to be a heel. I've always liked Jade, but I always have known that Jade will be a better heel, and she is a better heel. Now, the cool thing is, though, Jade will confront B-Fab later. She's like, she walks past her, and she's like, you got something to say? You got a problem? No? Thought so. And keeps walking. And then Meacham's like, someone needs to step up to her. Maybe it's going to be me. So it looks like Jade hasn't turned back to a babyface, so that's good. But I just don't like that Jade did that. We could have had other ways to showcase Jade Cargill than to make Chelsea Green to feed her Chelsea Green in this manner. Because Chelsea, I don't know, Chelsea could have used someone else, her next challenger. Because Chelsea shouldn't be feuding with Jade Cargill right now. She just shouldn't. So, that said, though, I did like, though, when Jade walked away, then the fireworks went off after Chelsea Green had gotten beaten up. So, there were good elements, and it made sense in a way. So, like, I'm not like, oh, this SmackDown sucks because of this segment. I just think there are other ways to do it. Does that make sense? Other ways to make this all happen. We could have had everything still play out, but not made it where Jade is the one who beat up the mid-card heel. So you have the top heel beating up the mid-card heel, tops. So that just, I don't know, not for me. But I'm hoping and praying that Jade still remains a heel. Becky Lynch had a really good moment. So Becky's like, I gathered you all here. Becky Lynch is so delusional. She's so delusional, and it's hilarious. I'm living for this. She did not make the team. She's the last person on the team. She's saying she made the team. She says how she has a 100% track record in WarGames. She tells Lash she has a 0. She has a 0% because Lash has never been in it. She also tells Nia. She goes to Asuka, oh, you're kind of like, you have a better percentage, but only 8%. You've only won one time, and you didn't even get the pin. I got the pin. So she's just like, it's just so funny, just so hilarious. And she's telling you how good she is, and Nia's like, it's not about you. It's not about you. It's about Asuka tonight. Asuka has to go and fight. And so Asuka then cuts a promo saying how last time she fought Charlotte, she injured her. And then Becky's like, do that again. Do that again. Becky's so good. Becky is the greatest of all time. And that's not just me saying it. That's Sports Illustrated. And so Asuka just kind of dances away. And then yells for Kairi Sane. And Kairi comes after her. And Kairi, well, then Asuka will have a match with Charlotte to determine the winner. But Kyrie wasn't there. It's kind of weird. This was another booking decision that I didn't agree with. Funny how there's a lot of booking decisions that I didn't agree with, but I still enjoyed the show. See, that's the thing. Again, you can enjoy the show and your people don't always have to win. As long as the storytelling is good, the pacing is good, everything flows. So, yeah, I'm sure the other channels, there's going to be probably... Lately, I don't seem to be agreeing with the channels that I usually agree with, so I don't know. Maybe the other channels are going to hate tonight's episode of SmackDown, but I enjoyed it thoroughly. We did have a segment with Charlotte Flair. Everybody saying, hey, Charlotte, you need to, yay, go for it. Even AJ showed up, and AJ was like, they're going to regret this, and then she walked away. So, kind of the crazy AJ. Like, I hope they bring out crazy AJ Lee because therapy AJ Lee was great for her first appearance, but I need crazy AJ Lee for her character. Crazy AJ Lee is the best character. The best version of AJ Lee. But yeah, so Charlotte, Asuka. Oh, this was such a good match. I'm still not over the fact that Asuka lost to Charlotte at WrestleMania many moons ago, but... Whatever. No, not whatever. And while we're on this subject, I'm not over the fact that Undertaker lost to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 30. Not over it. And Shinsuke should have beat AJ Styles too at the same WrestleMania that Asuka lost to Charlotte. Anyways, thankfully Kofi beat Daniel Bryan. What was I talking about? Charlotte, Asuka, great match, awesome match, phenomenal match. Think Asuka should have won. I really think Asuka should have won, but Charlotte did. And then that means they will have the WarGames advantage. Weird when the baby faces have the WarGames advantage, but who knows? If we put Lash Legend and Nia Jax in as their first two competitors, then that advantage might not mean much. So, there's ways around it because you have two big monster heels on the bad guys team, but yeah, usually the heels win the advantage match. That way it could be an outnumbered at 4 times throughout the entire WarGames match. You could outnumber the baby faces because baby faces should always be fighting an uphill battle. Regardless, Charlotte won. Don't think she should have won here. Don't think she should have won at WrestleMania. But it was a great match. They have just great chemistry. Great chemistry. Ilya Dragunov, he did talk. Probably didn't wrestle tonight. Someone said this in my chat, but probably didn't wrestle tonight because this was a taped match and he wrestled last week. Therefore, it would have been 2 in one night. I'm okay with that. I actually enjoyed not seeing Ilya Dragunov. What, you hate Ilya Dragunov? No, I don't hate Ilya Dragunov. I don't. I can not want to see the same guy do the same thing every single week and still enjoy the guy and like the guy. I can want someone to lose and still enjoy that person. I wanted Jey Uso to lose tonight. I still like Jey Uso. I wanted Sami Zayn to lose tonight. I still liked Sami Zayn. But Sami then, leader of the Job Squad 2.0. And I can still poke fun and still enjoy them. They will fight the MFTs. They fight the MFTs. There was a promo, and in the promo, it was like a video package. Solo says something, and Tonga Loa is like, sayonara, sucker! I love that. I want Tonga Loa to continuously just, being the hype man for the MFTs. What a GOAT. GOAT Loa, the real tribal chief of the bloodline. Love Tonga Loa. Tonga Loa is amazing. He wasn't even the first eliminated, which was a surprise. JC Mateo, hate that name, was eliminated first. He did have a cool thing where I think Sami, tried to kick him. He grabbed the leg, pulled it so hard out of the corner that Sami kind of went up in the air. JC Mateo, hate the name, catches him and then does a move. Cool move. Loved it. And so it's MFTs versus the Sami Zayn, Phoenix, Rey Fenix, Shinsuke Nakamura, and the Motor City Machine Guns. Shinsuke Nakamura took the first pin. That sucked. Come on. Shinsuke Nakamura taking the first pin. We let this dude be U.S. champion, within the last 365 days. Why is he taking a pin here? That's stupid, in my opinion. You have the Motor City Machine Guns. They could have taken the first pin. But, yeah. So, basically, it's a good match. It's a good match. It was commercial free. When it was all said and done, it became Sami Zayn versus Talatunga and Solo Sikoa. He beats Tamatonga, and then he causes a count-out win against Talatunga. And I'm like, oh God, are they going to let Sammy Hogan do it? Is Sammy going to win? Is Sammy going to completely bury the MFTs like he did like 3 or 4 months ago? That's when I start getting tired of the Sammy character, when the ultimate underdog from the underground just mops the floor with an entire faction. So I was getting a little nervous. Now, it was back and forth this whole time, so it wasn't all Sammy. So up until now, it was fine, though. It was fine. I wish Talatunga and Solo Sikoa had been the final survivors, but whatever it is, we have Solo then versus Sammy. Good sequence. They have good chemistry, and Solo will eventually win. Woo! Thank God. Thank God. Solo wins against Sami Zayn. Still like Sammy, though. I know, crazy. You can actually want someone to lose and like him. You can like both people. I know. What a horrible wrestling fan I am. But, yes, so we then have Sammy. He loses. Solo wins, but then the lights go out, and it's the Wyatts. The Wyatts, they come from one side. What we should have done was the lights go out, we cut to a backstage. We didn't do this. They should have. We cut to the backstage, and it's the MFTs completely laid out, just like how the Wyatts first debuted, and they laid out the entire backstage. The MFTs should have been completely laid out. And then we cut to Solo, who's like, what? Oh my God, what am I going to do? He sees the 4 people over there. He turns to run, meets Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy, but that didn't happen. We didn't get the video package. But what did happen is he sees the 4 guys, well, 1 gal too, 3 guys, 1 gal on this side. He turns around, and there's Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy. He gives him the Sister Abigail, and we close out the show. And that was SmackDown. I enjoyed it. I yawned 3 times. And that's pretty good because I only had 4 hours of sleep last night. So, yes, enjoyed it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Man, it was almost a nothing SmackDown, but yeah, I just really enjoyed it. Because nothing super relevant big happened, I'm going to give it only an 8. High 8. Low 9. High 8, low 9. I just thought it was great. I just enjoyed it. Like, you don't have to watch it, but I suggest you do. It was just good stuff. Good progression. Good character work. Good stuff. Good stuff all around. Mwah. Chef's kiss. All right, boys. All right, girls. Let me know what you thought. Am I just like, I'm an idiot? Am I an idiot for liking this SmackDown as much as I did? Maybe. Or maybe I'm just an idiot for other reasons. I wouldn't put it past me. You idiot. All right, boys. All right, girls. See you. Bye. WarGames tomorrow. Let's do this.